So there has to be more done on that part when you have different options when it comes for what universities have to offer for their students, faculty, and staff safety. Another thing I also mentioned in Virginia Tech's incident, this happened in a residence hall. So it happened in a dorm. It also happened with a student that had access to university resources and that because he was simply enrolled there. Definitely this has to be addressed for future references for other schools, mainly because most of the time in situations like this, it is someone that is rather familiar with the university, is enrolled with the university, or is employed with the university. The situation with this, there has to be some type of training that is mainly fielded through human resources and public safety for officials that are in certain buildings on campus, particularly resident hall directors and RAs, student assistants. Before every semester, there should be some type of training and some kind of notification so they know that there is a chain of command and hierarchy in case they need to be in contact with public safety about an incident on campus. This is particularly important for those that are really interacting with students on a daily basis, especially in buildings where there are admissions offices, registrar or financial aid, some of those offices where students may have some issues or may be disgruntled and may come back to have some kind of issue or problem. Another thing is the situation with this, with Virginia Tech in particular, is that this could have been prevented in a case, but however, we had some legal issues that were kind of holding that back. Since now that has actually been changed in Virginia, and there are some laws that have actually changed that for other universities. The particular gunman in this case had a few mental issues, and he actually needed really assistance and help. He had caused a few issues on campus prior to the incident and prior to killing those people, and that's something that the Psychological Services Center or the Student Counseling Center could not notify the campus directly of at the time, simply because of FERPA and HIPAA guidelines. There has to be to a certain point, and they've realized that since the massacre, that despite the students or the patient's privacy, that if they are exactly at a threat to causing public harm or actually to hurt someone else, that someone of a public official or police department needs to be notified of the suspicious person. The university should also take a role in it, not just putting it on the university police department or on the community as well. The university is pretty much allowing that person to be a student enrolled there. There has to be a line drawn when it comes to a student's mental health. If a student's mental health is off or they seem like they're going to be a challenge for the campus community or a threat, it has to be a cause to question of that student's enrollment at the institution. At some case, you have to be safer than sorry. If the student wants to fight back and tries to sue the university, then so be it. That lawsuit is worth going through versus having that person on campus and having them as a threat or being unsafe. That student can even be offered something similar where they can stay enrolled in the university but take classes online. So there are a few options that can be done on the university administrative setting that can help out with future incidents such as this. One of the hardest parts about all of this is that it's not totally preventable. We can't stop every person that has a mental disability or mental capability from having a weapon. We can't stop someone from being upset about something. We can't stop from someone taking action on their emotions and wanting to take another person's life. That's always going to be a difficult challenge. So there has to be definitely a clear plan of policy and communication amongst these universities and also amongst the administration as well. Another thing about the Virginia Tech massacre was that they had to really make sure that they cleaned this up well. Virginia Tech is a very large institution. It's not a small university. It's a very large institution. It's also a flagship institution. So it's very important for them to protect their image and reputation and also maintain that they are a place of safety and of learning. This definitely falls really heavily upon the university administration as well as public relations with the media and also with parents and with family. Despite the massacre, Virginia Tech actually had their campus community rally among them. They actually recorded record enrollment following in that fall semester following the massacre that happened that spring. They were even able to repurpose the buildings that the massacre actually happened in. So it's definitely something where it's going to be perseverance for any university, but definitely plan and coordination has to be done, and it has to be done before an incident such as this happens. It may not be able to prevent someone from getting hurt or killed, but you definitely want to try to save as many people as possible. And I believe that having not only a text message alert system, an email alert system, a desktop alert system, and a verbal PA alert system notifying the campus community that something is awry, that there is an active shooter or that there is an active situation that needs to be handled on campus definitely has to be tackled. And it definitely has to be something that needs to be done to prevent any kind of situation such as this, or just to prevent so many people from suffering or so many people from dying. Definitely there needs to be some type of crisis training for faculty and staff members. A lot of times students are not as well as in tune with their emotions, not as well as in tune with what's going on around them, and it's up to those adults in that situation, those administrators, those professors, those staff members that work with students one-on-one to be able to help combat maybe things that may arise when they know that something is off with a student or when they know that a student needs assistance. And even after a situation such as this, it's very hard to return to a university and deal with those emotional issues and distress afterwards of a situation like this, because you may feel fearful, you may feel afraid. Counseling of the university can only do so much, especially at a school the size of Virginia Tech when you're looking at over 20,000 students. So definitely having some type of training through human resources to focus on those individual connections that students have with their professor or with their mentor or their advisor is something that can also help to stop situations from this happening in the future, or stop a shooting from happening again, which unfortunately happened at Virginia Tech again. This was not related to the first shooting, but however, some more that could have been done in that situation with proper training with faculty and staff members. So overall, I felt like that my suggestions were not only realistic, but they're put into action now. I can see Virginia Tech and another larger university putting that to action. I can see that being put into action here at Austin Peay, and a lot of that has been put into action already. Once again, it's unfortunate that a lot of this is not preventable, and that a lot of this it may happen. However, there can be more that can be done to combat the issue, to make it a better situation for everyone, and to make everyone feel safe at their university's campus, and help the community also realize that their university's campus is something that should be cherished and held as safe as well. So that is my crisis management project video. I also go a little bit more into detail about some of the different tactics in my paper, but overall it's pretty much what I had to present when it came forth for school communication and the breakdown and mainly the plan of what can be done in the future to stop such incidents as Virginia Tech. I definitely want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and this was the part 2, because I actually had a first part, but thank you very much and you have a great day.